Hello, my friends, Evolutionary Energy Arts family.
Welcome back.
So, guys, yet another rewriting of the textbooks.
I know. What is this? What is this?
NASA discovers water spread out across the moon's sunlit surface. The U.S. Space Agency confirmed it's found indisputable proof of something that was previously considered impossible. Well, it seems like that's happening all the time, doesn't it?
Well, yeah, and I thought they landed there, so they may have known this.
This is that slow drip. This is it. It's just, it's always trickling out. Massive hydration of the moon's sunlit surface by water that still only exists as separate molecules. NASA announced that its latest study has helped to resolve the mystery of whether water exists on the moon once and for all. Oh boy, it's not that claims about the discovery of water on Earth's natural satellite. Okay, right there. I don't believe that. That's just me. It's just me. I just look at all the legends from many different Native American tribes, for instance, that say that the moon was not there at a certain time. And we jump over to Tuscany, over in Italy. They have the same legends. They say the moon wasn't always here. It was brought here. And others as well. And that's I did a video on that, and I was surprised at how many people thumbs it down. Not willing to look at the possibility that the moon is not necessarily natural to us anyway.
Yep, and I've heard of this story too, and also I heard before the moon was here with these stories, people were not so moody.
Perhaps.
They were stable.
Perhaps. Yeah, there's a lot of different thought about it. That when we had the last big one, the last big, massive die-off and all, perhaps the tilt of the Earth was not always what it is. Maybe it was something different, and we're supposed to go back to something different as well, where things are going to be more peaceful and more harmonious and less turmoil in the weather. And boy, we got turmoil in the weather for sure. So they never thought that they would find water on the moon at all. But then the other thing is, recently we were just told too, well, you know what? The moon is inside the Earth's atmosphere.
Yeah. Things that make you go,
Wait a minute. So if it's inside the atmosphere, then perhaps that water is coming from Earth. And nowhere in the article do they say that. Right. But it's interesting nonetheless. So now, thanks to the Space Agency's Stratospheric Observatory for Infrared Astronomy, also known as SOFIA, there you go, the guy, wisdom, SOFIA, gnosis again. This issue is finally clear. An infrared camera of SOFIA's telescope mounted on a modified Boeing 747 SP aircraft has detected a specific wavelength unique to water molecules while surveying the moon's surface. And the study's results were published in Nature's Astronomy. So, very interesting.
It is super interesting. I love this kind of stuff, and you can kind of sift through the news and the internet all day and find these little drips of disclosure.
Yeah, excuse me there. I just had 1 cup of coffee this morning and no water so far, and I know you're not supposed to do that. You should start your day really with water. Like lemon water is a good way to start your day, and then have a cup of coffee. It's healthier that way. It kind of alkalizes your body, as most people are too acidic. So even more surprisingly, scientists were able to discover some unusual concentrations of water in the Clavius crater on the moon's sunlit side, where water was not expected to even exist in principle. Without a thick atmosphere, water on the sunlit lunar surface should just be lost to space. Yet somehow we're seeing it. Something is generating the water, and something must be trapping it here. Well, I'm not a scientist, but if the moon is inside the Earth's atmosphere, could it not be coming from Earth? I mean, that seems kind of obvious somehow. No?
Yeah, well, it does to me too.
Maybe I'm totally wrong on that. And they also say the moon is mysteriously rusting despite the lack of air and liquid water. They say also it could be that meteorites, because the moon does get pelted by meteorites, and we know that can also transfer water as well and life around the universe.
It can, and it's been known to do so. Well, at least they say that it's been known to do so.
Now this one, what in the world is it? Mysterious lights in the night sky baffle Hawaii residents. And there's a video which I don't have permission to play, but I can show you a little bit of it. Very much this one looks really, really interesting. This is a good one. Lots of guesses. It really stuns people to see what they were seeing up there. To me, it does look like it's in a triangular formation. As you can see it way up there, and then when he kind of zooms into it, it's kind of like a big cluster. And your vibes on this?
Very malevolent. These beings are on a mission, and it's something that I wouldn't want to be any part of.
Okay, so you say this feels kind of malevolent, nasty. Yeah, not a good energy to it.
No, it's very reptilian in nature, and I can just feel they're on a mission, and it's not a nice one.
So perhaps some beings showing themselves. Now, do you get an Anunnaki reptilian feel, or is this more of a Draco? Is this little grays up there under control of the Draco?
This is a feel of like reptilian slash our technology, and doing something with humans that we probably couldn't even fathom. The technology that they have to transport people and then do things to them and put them back and stuff like this.
Okay. So interesting, and this is out of Will E's channel. Interesting. It's definitely a good one. I'll have the links for you guys so you guys could play it and see what you think. And boy, it is chilly out in the west. Look at these numbers: 19 below, 12 below, 14 below. Colorado is cold, and so is Wyoming right now, and also over here in Nebraska. Man, it's chilly. And, we got snow coming down, and it's been coming down for over 24 hours.
Oh, gosh, it's so beautiful. It's just such a fresh breath. It's great.
So we have a statement about the fire situation. And so you have Southern California Edison saying that it might be their equipment that sparked a fast-moving wildfire that forced evacuation orders for some 100,000 people now. Seriously injured 2 firefighters on Monday as well, as those powerful winds swept across the state. As we had said, the situation could be the worst that we've seen to date this year, and that's saying a lot with what has gone on. It's just been such a incredibly brutal year for the wildfires in California. And of course, a lot of people are saying, what is going on there? I mean, what is going on there? Do they want to create a mass exodus in California? Is that part of what's going on?
I think so, and it's really sad, and I don't feel these are mistakes.
No. And so how bad was the wind? Well, they're saying that you had as much as 140 mile an hour gust recorded. And this was up at a ski resort where actually last year they had at one point in time thought they had a 200 mile an hour gust, and they said that can't be. And I remember talking about that too. They said they were wondering if the equipment was faulting because they couldn't imagine that powerful a gust. But it's going to get more and more intense as we go deeper into the cycles.
And I do feel that that's going to continue to happen, where the intensities are going to continue to increase and increase, just kind of drip, drip, drip. I really feel that that's going to happen.
And so when we check into My Fox Hurricane, you see it's pretty much that same path we've been talking about. It looks like it's just going to go right again and go ahead and probably go straight through. And we're talking about tropical storms Zeta, which will become Hurricane Zeta from what they're saying. Category 1 more than likely, making landfall somewhere in Louisiana, possibly also Mississippi or Alabama. This is looking very, very likely as we move forward. And so as we see, they already have warnings and watches in effect for intercoastal city, Louisiana to Navarre, Florida, as far as storm surge. And then as far as a hurricane warning from Morgan City, Louisiana to the Mississippi-Alabama border as well. So you guys, I know you've been through this, twice already this year. hang on. Here comes number 3, and hopefully things will die down after that. Now, when I was looking at this, they're only listing 201 quakes, which, as far as the USGS goes, it's not a lot. And what strikes you at this? What strikes me is this. Okay, what's going on here? They're not showing any activity from basically Mexico down to South America. You got this one little quake down here. It's a 4.8 in the South Shetlands. They're not showing anything in the southern hemisphere between, the Ring of Fire here between South America over into New Zealand and Indonesia. If that's the case, then hang on tight, because there's probably a very big one coming somewhere down that area.
Yeah, we're going to keep a close eye on this.
Now, when you look at CSEM, CSEM shows them in a 48-hour period as opposed to a 24. They do show some, although most of these are from more than 24 hours ago. So their USGS is not showing everything. Like when you look over here, look at all those on the coast of Mexico heading down to Central America. So they're just not listing everything for whatever reason. I don't know why they would do that. But it is actually kind of quiet in the southern hemisphere compared to normal. So again, something big might be building.
Yeah, there very well could be.
And so they say it was toxic algae bloom behind the massive die-off in the Russian Kamchatka Peninsula after all. So that's at least what the scientists are telling us. Whether it's that, a lot of people believe it's Fukushima related, or some other sort of spill related, some other sort of release of toxins. But they're going to say that it is a toxic algae bloom.
It's just heartbreaking. That's what I see.
Exactly. So thank you guys so much for your support on Ko-Fi and Patreon. We couldn't do it without you. Anybody that needs to set up an appointment, just reach out to us at evolutionaryenergyarts@gmail.com or EEARTS@protonmail.com. As always, stay prepared out there. God bless and namaste.
Namaste.